Hello! Today we are diving deep into a company that some call their CEO the Elon Musk of Biotech. Other claims that the company will save the world. The CEO himself says they have a therapy that prevents cancer. To be honest, the stock had an incredible run at the start of the year. But is it too good to be true? Could this really be a trillion-dollar company? Let's find out in today's video. Welcome to Taxi Biotech, a show where we dive into the latest news in the biotechnology world and learn about its impact on the stock market. The stock data I show here is a reflection of companies' performance or clinical trials and does not constitute any investment advice. This is pure entertainment. We are going to start analyzing ImmunityBio, and the first thing we have to do is understanding the foundation of their therapies. Their work is based on cancer immunotherapy, where the body's own defense are empowered to attack tumor masses. Tumors express certain antigens that immune cells recognize. Other times, tumors strip away the identification tags of body cells, leading the immune system to identify them as foreign agents and attack. However, natural selection can occur in the tumor. Immune cells can attack the tumor, but the cells that develop resistance to that attack can grow in such a way that the tumor continues to expand. The tumor can create environments that the immune cells cannot enter or trigger responses that make immune cells exhausted, meaning they lose their effectiveness over time. The company's primary molecule is interleukin-15, which essentially increases immune cells' numbers, allowing them to fire more effectively against the tumor mass and shrink it. Now that we understand the science, let's look at the latest investor presentation for the clinical data. Here we see their star molecule is Anktiva, which is interleukin-15, combined with other drugs for different types of cancer. Disclosure here, any errors in this video are not due to personal bias. I hold no shares in this company. Okay, where is the most advanced progress? Their molecule in bladder cancer, where they have results showing a 71% complete response rate among participants, which is frankly wonderful. This molecule was approved in 2024 and obviously sales have been growing at very strong pace, as is typical for any recently launched drug. The drug performs well. They also have data on patients who haven't been treated with standard therapy, showing a complete and lasting response in 6 of 9 patients treated for over 9 years. They noted that 2 of these patients died of natural cause. For this specific study, final results are expected in 2026, and they plan to apply for FDA to approval by late 2026. Their results show an 84% complete response rate, while those receiving standard therapy only see a 52% rate. During 2026, they will also seek a new FDA approval regarding bladder cancer. And as I mentioned, sales are growing because it's a newly approved drug. Everything seems more or less normal. However, is it the revolution of the future? Is it the end of cancer forever? Personally, I don't understand all the hype. If we compare it to similar bladder cancer drugs, we see others with complete response rate of 82% for over 12 months, such as in the case of Johnson & Johnson drug. There are other medications with rates around 78%. Look, I'm not saying one drug is better than the other. You can't make direct comparisons because every patient population is different. You would need what is known as a head-to-head trial. My point here is that while a 80 something percent efficacy rate is very good, there are existing therapies for that same cancer reaching similar percentage. I have no doubt ImmunityBio drug will do great, but it isn't a final cure, and also is not the only drug these patients will use. Okay, so what else in their pipeline? They have IL-15 booster for non-small cell lung cancer for patients who fail previous immunotherapy. IL-15 booster plus immunotherapy, okay? It's true these patients have a difficult outlook at first-line treatment, with a median survival of around 10 to 12 months if they fail to the therapy. ImmunityBio show that when they apply their IL-15 alongside an immunomodulator, the number of lymphocytes here in blue line increase. However, patients without IL-15, the number of lymphocytes remain stable. This is logical. IL-15 boosts lymphocyte production. They use a graph to correlate higher lymphocytes with longer survival, here in blue line, okay? I believe this correlation exists, and it's true, but it's somewhat a strange way to represent it. I can imagine simpler way to combine these graphs to show if the therapy truly works. I'm sure upcoming results will be with better representation. This therapy is well positioned for accelerated approvals and has actually already been approved in Saudi Arabia. Here comes one of the main criticisms of this company. In the press release from the 13th of January, they presented a lymphocyte threshold of 1,000 cells per microliter. However, in the actual presentation slide, we can see here 1,200 cells per microliter. Why is there a disparity? Is this an arbitrary number chosen after seeing the data? Moreover, in their September 2025 press release, they say patients with over 1,500 cells per microliter, their survival jumped to 21 months. Using arbitrary numbers to move the goalpost is generally not welcome by the scientific community. Another red flag, and please correct me in the comments if I am wrong, is that they link increased lymphocyte to higher survivals, but why not directly compare the use of their drug plus immunomodulator versus not using the immunomodulator? At the end, they are expecting a randomized phase 3 confirmatory trial comparing the immunomodulator plus IL-15 against standard chemotherapy, and this will show us a very good data. And again, as the same as in the bladder cancer, how do other drugs fare against standard therapy? For example, the recently approved tarlatamab achieves a median overall survival of over 14 months. While they don't split by lymphocyte count, it's in a similar range. Again, you cannot compare without head-to-head trial, but it gives you perspective. So, like the previous case, we have an IL-15 therapy that seems to work. Will likely be approved and will be great for patients and investors too. But it will coexist with other molecules. It won't be the miracle cure-all. In this context, IL-15 isn't a miracle, it's just another co-stimulatory therapy. It will be very good, it will be great. But the Elon Musk rockets are winning. they showed us some other therapies for glioblastoma based on the same principle, and they show us some images, and it will be great for patients, of course. But then things get messy. Their CEO has given several interviews claiming that IL-15 will increase your lymphocytes and cure everything because immune cells track all demons in your body. So let's go back to biology class. Is the CEO right? Increasing immune cells via IL-15 can make tumors more vulnerable. He also mentions things like coronavirus, but there is a concept in the immune system called overstimulation or T-cell exhaustion. If we constantly overstimulate T cells, they can die, causing the opposite effect. I've looked into it, and with IL-15, this specific exhaustion might not happen, so it can be a great molecule to boost the immune system and avoid immune cell exhaustion. However, what happens in the long term, we don't know yet. And however, as I said before, cancer can escape the immune system through natural selection. They will develop new blockers or a tumoral microenvironment different to escape these therapies. They will develop other blockers, CTLA4, TIGIT, LAG3, etc. We will improve them with new therapies, but they are rarely 100% effective. The idea promoted in interviews on X is that we could receive regular doses of IL-15 to keep mutations or viruses away. I see that future as very distant. If it happens, ImmunityBio will have 20 fabulous years of market exclusivity, but it's hard to prove that daily or monthly or annual IL-15 use prevents cancer, because the clinical trial require far too long time and too many people. It will be so big, that clinical trial. In summary, this company has two very good advanced therapies approved in certain countries that are very positive for patients, but they are by no means the miracle being sold on social media. They have market competition and will have to coexist with other molecules. Furthermore, the idea of long-term immune overstimulation to prevent cancer would require massive long-term clinical trials to prove the efficacy. From here, to value this company, you have to do your own math, estimate sales, timelines, and multiples. This is my personal opinion on the science versus the hype. I agree, this company is doing great, and the therapies that are on the pipeline are very good and will be approved, but they are not going to be a miracle. So, let me know what you think in the comments. See you another time. Bye.